Today I'm talking about a technology that doesn't exist, or it kind of exists. It's possible, clearly. Remember a couple of years ago when the government released those videos of the flying Tic Tacs that didn't have any propulsion system? This thing here. Wow, look at that. Oh my god. There's no propulsion system, it's going around. What makes it weird is that the government released it, so it's probably credible, unless you don't trust the government. But this video isn't about this fucking Tic Tac, it's about what it's doing. See how it's like moving independent of gravity and airflow? That probably means it has its own bubble of gravity. It moves independent of space-time. I seriously doubt that this is like otherworldly crap. I think this is like a government experiment. My guess is that the government is keeping it top secret, or they just don't know what it is. There are two options here. The government just released it because they had to, for legal reasons, or because someone was going to leak it already, or they want someone to try and explain it. There's a bunch of like Area 51 ex-workers or ex-government employees that have said, hey, there's stuff out there that controls its own gravity. It creates its own sphere of influence. And it's happened more than once. But then again, there's been so many people that have been like, oh my god, there's aliens everywhere. Ugh. But let's just assume that it does exist because of the Tic Tac. There's a couple theories on how anti-gravity even works. The most plausible, in my opinion, is the case for element 135. So far, officially, we haven't been able to make element 135. Probably not. The highest we've gotten is to element 118, which probably wasn't even made. That's a whole story in and of itself. Some guy by himself with no other witnesses found like 8 different elements by himself, and he won the Nobel Prize for it. Most of the newer elements that we found are extremely unstable, and it's probably unlikely that we're gonna get a stable element 119 or above. There's a theory that element 135 can be stable. The isotope of 135 has 135 protons and a bunch of neutrons, and it has 0 charge, so it could kind of just stay there by itself. The idea behind it is that you run an electric current through an isotope of element 135, and it creates its own thrust by warping space-time around it. I know it sounds really conspiracy theory, but there is a little bit, and there's a lot of holes in the theory, but I mean, that Tic Tac, come on, it's real, it could be a thing. The way people make new elements is by shooting plasma rays at each other of different elements. It's pretty much just adding protons. So if you shoot hydrogen at each other, atomic number 1, they can fuse and form element number 2, helium. And that's what we've been doing to create new elements. So to make element 135, we'd have to shoot lead plasma and iodine plasma at each other and just pray that it creates element 135. It'd probably take a lot of money, because lead plasma, are you kidding me? That's insane. To plasmafy lead, that's like out of the question for like one person, unless. So you're probably not going to get your hoverboard anytime soon unless you have like $10 trillion. But hey, anti-gravity is probably a thing, right? Maybe? I don't know. Listen, I just told you how to make element 135. Imagine what else is in here. Listen, element 135 probably isn't real, but it could exist, maybe, I don't know. And anti-gravity sure is like a really cool idea and would definitely help solve the speed of light problem. So maybe if you want to know more about it, you should just go to Area 51, you know? They probably have some there. Those ex-government guys were like, hey, that's probably a thing. I mean, it is a thing. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. They went on Joe Rogan, and that's how I know about that. They could be capping. Plenty of people cap on Joe Rogan, who knows. Thanks to my Patreon supporters. Thanks to Noel Cornett. You're a cool guy. Make sure to subscribe for more cool stuff like this. Thanks for watching. You're chill. I swear to God, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I swear. I just like the interesting stuff, you know?